I worked many years ago on a film called Babe. It was about a little pig. And I have a huge fondness of being in Australia, shooting this little film about this little pig sitting there with our little animatronic pig. Babe was being made at the same time as Jurassic Park released. And at the time, we were working very, very hard to try and convince an audience that we could make an animatronic pig look like a real pig. And at the same time, I was hearing all these rumours of this film that had just been released in the States where dinosaurs could walk and everything. So I couldn't wait to see Jurassic Park. And it was life-changing for me. I mean, as someone who'd spent my life wanting to create visual effects, to me this was phenomenal. I couldn't get enough of it, really. I scrutinised it, and wanted to know as much as I could about it. And at the same time, I was completely, utterly terrified by the whole thing as well, because it was, the beginning of the digital era. It was a birth of something which is, still continues today to be amazing and brilliant. We are standing on the shoulders of giants, and one does look back at the designs that have gone before us, and everybody, I think, pays attention to that, and one builds on that. You hear audience response, you see different sequences from different directors, and you sense the moments that work the best, and you try to then capitalise on that. And so, she has been, subtly modified. Certain things have been done, hopefully, too. And you understand more about the sort of cinematography, the lenses that are being used, and the aspirations of the cinematographer. And so often, just lensing a character up like this will often promote you to maybe make the nose slightly bigger than it would be. You are making something that is designed to be photographed rather than to be displayed as a scientific replica. For instance, JA has got to what we call previs, which is pre-visualization of the sequence. Colin also had written, I think, very specific sequences, both for their emotional standpoint and obviously for their dramatic moment. And he's a smart man, and he helped us considerably in designing scenes that allowed us to exploit, the art of puppetry, if you'd call it that. So, for instance, when Blue is on what we call the operating table, they're fighting to save her life. That is an animatronic character that is sitting on top of a hollow box on a platform 6 foot high, and below that was, I think, almost 14 puppeteers who are connected to Blue through rods or through cables or through radio control. And so it's a sort of an ensemble piece of theatre, really. As her hands twitch or as the claws sort of thing, we're reacting to a kind of, we rehearse the moment. We want to make sure that we are delivering a real living entity, but that entity also needs to be directed and also needs to be able to react to, to Bryce. There's a new dinosaur in here. The dinosaurs have all been, we tweak the designs, we try to keep them fresh and build on the previous characters, so that for those dramatic moments, scary or not, we keep it fresh and alive. It's interesting because as digital effects become more and more sophisticated and the possibilities become almost endless, there seems to be a sort of feeling, I think, that in our soul or in our makeup as who we are, that there is this sort of need or desire to hold on to something which is more ground-bound, something which is probably more sort of primeval, theatre, Punch and Judy, all of those sort of things. And so really, I think our challenge is to try and find those moments where we can tell the story in the most sort of intimate way, a way that maybe CG will suffer a little to do. We can't, for instance, T-Rex can't get up and walk away, but you can touch it, you can interact with it in a way that I think the audience are, intuitively know is that this is a real moment. Often in the films, there's been a distance between the actors and the dinosaurs themselves, and I think this time around we begin to see, in the same way that we might relate with our pets or with any other animals, that actually, they have a heart and a soul, and without sort of belittling the majestic quality of a dinosaur, you can actually be close to it. So it was very important for us to create animatronics that were puppeteerable, that JA was able to direct them, and that the actors and actresses could really, relate to them and react to them, not as a special effect, but as a real living creature.